Welcome to This Week in Princeton Viking Sports here on VikeNation.org and ESP Media powered by Sidearm Sports. I'm Jason Griefer, and as always, we're joined by Princeton Athletic Director Joe Roberts. Joe, how are we? Busy week ahead.
Busy week ahead. Last day of summer. Isn't it amazing, Jason? Today's the last day of summer. I mean,
yep.
What a year. So busy week in front of us. Senior recognition week, and gearing up for final home regular season football game and first home girls soccer match of the year. So it's going to be a busy week.
Yeah, it is definitely going to be a busy week. Let's get right into it, and let's talk about one of those busy events that you'll have coming up at the end of the week, and that's the Princeton Invite for cross country. You know, coming off the Eaton Invite last week, now you've got this hosting this invite this coming weekend. When you get an event like this where you're the host of it, how much extra energy does that give your runners, first of all, knowing it's their event? And then for you, how challenging has it been during these times to get this event organized and hopefully get it off without a hitch?
Well, from an energy standpoint, I can only imagine that the student athletes are extremely excited about the fact that we get to host an event, run on our own course. That's something that we did not do last year, just purely with timing. And at that time, Coach Ziner was our head boys coach and Coach Campbell was our girls coach. And we felt the date that we had to work with, we really wanted to go to the Troy Invite because that's the site of the regional meet. And we wanted to put our kids on the regional course. Obviously, we love the idea of being able to host an invite. And so from an energy perspective, I think our student athletes are going to be excited they get to run on their own course. Obviously, this year, everything is different in terms of sheer size and capacity, but hats go off to our entire cross-country staff for the planning and the preparation that they've put into making sure that this event is ready to go. From our standpoint, it's more about making sure we have lined up the officials, the timing system, that they have what they, we can support them for what they need, so that the whole idea is everything they do leading up to Saturday. Once they get to Saturday, all we want them to do is be able to coach our kids and enjoy the afternoon. So this is a big week for us. We'll be asking a lot of questions and trying to fine tune things to make sure we have the right number of teams, everybody's registered. We know what dots need to be put in place. And then of course our buildings and ground staff, our maintenance staff, they go and they mow the course and they paint the course, and they want it all to look first class. And so Landmark Christian Campus is going to really be popping Saturday morning.
We'll definitely be looking forward to that and recapping it on next week's show. Let's move on to the links. Boys golf really headed in the right direction. They've won 5 of 6. We talked about a little bit of that momentum last week, and they've kept it going. And then, of course, we've got the GMC Championships a little bit later this week out at Walden Pond. Of course, everybody knows Lakota East is the team that everybody's been trying to catch really for the last number of years. So going into this tournament, in talking to Coach Bagley, how is he approaching it with the players in that attempt to get into the GMC tournament and dethrone Lakota East?
Well, I think, it's going to start tonight. We're going to go over to the Mill, and we're going to have Edgewood and Norwood in for senior night and really get some preparation in. But it's more about, for him, I think it's about putting the kids in the right positions so that they can score and they can advance who we need to get through and how we want to place. I think we have the kids that can go and attack pins and be aggressive. It comes down to making putts, and it comes down to being consistent. So Coach Bagley does a very good job of just simply, hey, here's my lineup. Let's go get it. Let's do what we got to do, and then let the chips fall where they may when it comes to you've got to go out and you've got to control what you can control and score the way you need to score, and then those results will come at the end.
Our best of luck to them out not only today in that try match, but also in the GMC Championships a little bit later on in the week. On the girls' side, they had the GMC Championships this past week, finished 8th in the tournament there. But I want to talk about one of your golfers there who really performed well. Ariana Fluker finished tied for 19th. She's second team all conference as a result of that performance. What can you tell the fans about her that maybe they don't really know about her?
She's our 2020 homecoming queen. We crowned her Friday night, and what a unique and special individual. She also works at Dick's Sporting Goods. So I think she spends a lot of time over on that golf practice facility, testing clubs or putting and what have you up there during her her shift over there, but just an extremely wonderful young lady to be around, wonderful young lady to be our team captain and team leader, and someone for the girls to continue to look up to as we prepare ourselves for the sectional tournament.
As I said, tied for 19th and a really strong GMC. So that's a really good performance out of her there. Tennis has an incredibly busy week this week. A lot of things going on. You got Monroe and then league matches against Sycamore and Coleraine. It was a little bit of a tough go last time out when taking on Mason. Of course, Mason's been very good for a long, long time. So in moving forward there, what has the coaching staff been working on with the team to try to get them to say, let's forget about that. Let's focus forward because, they still have everything they want in front of them, with the GMC championships coming up next week.
Yeah. And, I think for Coach Bruning, it essentially, we'll have senior night tonight against Monroe. So he's going to recognize for senior tennis players, and that's going to be a really good, capstone event for the seniors to be able to have, be recognized and get out there and celebrate the 4 years. But with Coaches Classic this week as well, and we're serve as a host site for that event. And again, it's kind of what we talked about last week. I think it's really about where we need to be moving into Monday of next week. It's about, as we look at the GMCs, positioning one singles, positioning the right two single, what we need to do with the double side of things. And he's really now starting to focus on tournament mode. We can go all the way back, and it just seems like it was just a week ago that we started the season because we play so many matches in a row, and it's a great opportunity for kids to get out there. We were building block. And now then you hit that middle of the road where we really face some high-level tennis competition, and now we sought that head on, and now we're getting ready to move into tested for tournament time. So it's going to be where he wants to see the kids as they move forward and what the outcome's going to be, because now again it's an individual sport that is involved in a team game. So now it's going to be about putting those correct individuals in the right spots to advance them into championship level form.
Any concern of fatigue heading into next week, given the fact that you have the 3 matches and then the Coaches Classic ahead of time, or are these players just so into season mode right now it doesn't really matter at this point?
I think it's a combination of both, Jason. I think you can run into some fatigue, but I believe that this weather has helped. We've hit that stint of the humidity is kind of gone. Although, tennis, the warmer it is, a little bit more you can get up and down. But now that it starts to cool down a little bit, that fatigue can kind of change and shift. But, student athletes across the board are pretty resilient, and they're used to going in and night out. And it goes back to what you and I talked about before, they'd rather play than practice. So having a bunch of matches in a row kind of gets them set. Plus it gives coach a chance to maybe, if he needs to, rest a student athlete and switch some people around, or put a student athlete in a different role, in a different position, so that they, they're not beating their body up day in and day out, and so that they're preparing themselves for the end result.
Let's talk about your soccer teams. Let's start with the boys first. Nearly picked up a road win this past Saturday out at Lebanon. Lebanon got a game-tying goal with less than 2 minutes left. It resulted in a 2-2 draw, and we were able to broadcast that game on watchhssports.tv. A very thrilling game it was, but again, Lebanon got the equalizer late for the draw. They're back in league play later this week against both Lakota West and Lakota East. I want to focus on your keeper Cole Walker. I got to see him in person there for the first time myself, and I was incredibly impressed. He was aggressive, was in the right position seemingly all the time. He was very calm back there in net. He's tied for the GMC lead also with 50 saves right now. He's just been very, very good for your team all season long, and as I said, I was very impressed seeing it in person myself. What has Coach Keyspace said about Cole's season, how he's performed, and what have you thought in watching him play this year?
I think he's smart, and I think that he makes strong decisions in the fact that goalies need to understand that they're the beginning block of what happens from everything that goes on in soccer. And he does a very good job of knowing when he needs to come out of the net and when he needs to stay back. And yes, goals are going to go past you. That's going to happen. Goals are going to hit in those high corners. They're going to go on the opposite end, whatever the case may be. But it's making sure you're controlling and communicating to what is in front of you And that's essential. And I think Cole does a very good job of that. I think he communicates very well with his defenders. And he also has a very good eye. And, of course, his leg, both his left and right, because he can kick with both, that's key, because he can get the ball down the field where it needs to be so our offense can spread out, pass the ball in the right situations, and really push forward to make good shots on goal on the other end.
Yeah, he's had a really nice season. You got some talented forwards he's been able to kick it up, set it up towards as well. I can't recall either a goal kick or a free kick of his in that match that didn't go. It seemed like every one of them went beyond the midfield line. He's got that strong of a leg, as you said, on both sides there. Very talented indeed. Let's talk about the girls. They also have Lakota West and Lakota East this coming week. And let's talk about the keeper there, Taya Wilson. She's second in the league with 65 saves thus far. That's a high volume of shots, but again, she's knocking a lot of them away. You're going to face the league's leading scorer, and Kaylin Didakovich of Lakota West coming up on Tuesday. So a big challenge there. What can you tell us about her approach and how it's led to her success thus far?
And senior night against Lakota West. I met with the girls Friday after school at practice. I was at Oak Hills Thursday night, and I just wanted to talk to the girls about, it's not about the wins, it's about the progression. And it's about the fact that we don't let our schedule down and that they've got to keep their head up. And Taya is almost polar opposite of Cole in the fact that she will go after that ball. She will leave that box and take that risk to dive on the ball to stop it before the shot goes up. And sometimes that can leave a little bit of vulnerability there, because if she comes out too far and the ball goes in opposite direction, that gives somebody a wide open shot on goal. Where she needs just to learn to have that patience to sit back a little bit more and rely on the fact that her defenders can help her in that back line. She has been unbelievable to watch. Last year, what really stood out to me was when we were at Western Brown in the sectional tournament and she got hurt. But it was that aggressiveness of just charging out there and going after ball, and nothing's going to stop her from trying to do that. So really looking forward to what we have this week in both West and East. We talked to the girls a little bit about, hey, you are road warriors. You're home this Tuesday night. We are going to honor our seniors this Tuesday night against the state champion Lakota West Firebirds. But they were state champions last year. This is a new year. This is a different year. And what can you do as a team to go out and show everyone the improvements in the stride that we've made as a team? And the girls believe in themselves. It's just really difficult when you go in and night out and you're coming so close. Yep. And, one or two goals just change the whole mood swing across it. So really excited about that. And then, of course, having Lakota East in as well is going to be a good match for our kids as well.
How do you think they embrace that message? Yes, what happened last year, the state champions coming in, but as you said, that's last year. That's not this year. How do you think they embrace that going into this match? Do you think maybe in doing so kind of takes away some of that, that intimidation factor that some schools may feel when they've got a state power like that coming in?
Yes and no. I mean, I think they embrace it to the fact of, yeah, right, but they are, and they have the leading scorer in the state, and there's all these factors, but they all know one another. The kids know one another. So there's a comfort in that portion of it. But, I think that they understand that our team needs to know more and more that we're proud of the efforts that they're doing, and we're proud of how they represent us on the soccer field, and we're proud of how they represent us in the classroom. I think that says a lot, and it gets them ready, because we keep telling the kids that, our schedules aren't set up for us to grab a bunch of W's. That's not what our schedules are intended for. Our schedules are intended to put us in the best position possible for preparing us for the postseason. And the conference certainly is the leading factor to that. Our league sets us up to prepare ourselves. So, we're not looking for them to just mop up teams 5-6-0. We're looking for those 0-0 games, those 2-1 games, what have you, where they've really had to battle for 80 minutes. And I think the girls are starting to understand that with new coach Lapham being there. They're starting to come around to that. They certainly do feel a little bit more of a calming presence on the field amongst themselves. And so I think that's going to help them in the long run.
And I think that's right now a good time to start, getting the feel for that message as well when you've got some games left in the regular season before heading into the postseason. Let's head to volleyball. They're right in the swing in GMC play as well. You've got a couple of matches this week, starting with Hamilton tonight, and then a home match tomorrow against Lakota East, and we'll actually be broadcasting that through watchhsports.tv. I'll be there on the call. Looking forward to that one. And, of course, for fans that want to tune into that one, watchhsports.tv. 100% of the broadcast proceeds go directly to the athletic department. So that's another good reason to tune in. So we're looking at this. Let's talk about that match on Tuesday against Lakota East. It might be the first time this year, because of all the new policies in place, that a lot of fans get to see this volleyball team in action. And they'll take on Lakota East there. What can fans expect with this team when they see them on the court on Tuesday on watchhsports.tv?
They're going to see a group of girls that don't give up. We have a very solid group of sophomores and a consistent group of juniors and a group of seniors who are leading our team from front to back. And I think that they have formed themselves very well together. Much like our girls soccer program, they have had to understand all year that they are battle tested. And our opponents are high-level volleyball opponents, and that is what we are looking for from them. And we look for consistent results and look for consistent improvements step by step along the way. And that has been really great. Coach Sparks and her staff bring a tremendous amount of energy and enthusiasm to the kids. They really do value that. You see our girls talking on the floor. I see they move so much better than they did last year. And it's mainly because they put in some time and working on footwork and rotations and things to that effect. So really looking forward to Tuesday night and looking forward to you guys covering the game for our student athletes and for our fans who, like you said, have not had a chance to get in and see them play this year.
Yeah, that'll be 6 o'clock, watchhsports.tv. It will be live. It'll also be available on demand afterwards. So if fans watch it once, they want to go back and watch it again, or maybe miss it live, they can go back and watch it again there. We're really looking forward to being out there for that match. Lastly, let's talk about your football team. A week ago, we were riding high after the win against Colerain, and everything seemed to be going in the right direction. But you and I also talked about that concern for that hangover effect, and would that creep in the following week, and then you get knocked off 28-19 to Lakota East, who won that one to get to 500 on the year, after that huge Colerain win. As you said, you were concerned about that going into last week's show. Now that you saw the game, you saw what happened. Is that what happened in your mind in that game against Lakota East?
Well, I think, Jason, yes and no. I think it's 50-50. First and foremost, as we said at the beginning of the show, congratulations also to Taj Marshall Talbert, who was our homecoming king. And what an absolute perfect night for us to have our homecoming ceremony, recognize that court. The staff at Princeton High School just do an incredible job of making sure our kids get recognized. We had 22 students participate in homecoming Friday before the game. But again, congrats to Taj and to Ariana for being the 2020 homecoming queen and kings. But football, you have to run the football in order to get results. Now, there are times when you can run the football and you just come up short. And we all understand that. We all know that. I think we had some injuries early. I think Thomas suffering a little bit of an ankle injury early. I think that kind of changed things for us. But we stayed in the game. And then you just watch a couple of key areas and special teams where you just miss a few things here and there, a missed block, a missed rotation, a missed pass, what have you. And that kind of changed things. And hats off to Lakota East, because they played a game and they did not stop. They kept the ball moving forward. They controlled the clock. They controlled what we were trying to do. They knew what we were going to key in on. And they made some adjustments late to keep us in the position we were in. Coach Daniels and his staff, we're going to be okay. They know what we need to work on, what we need to fix. But do I think we were still riding on the Colerain victory? Yes, I do. I don't know if that was the reason why we came up short. I just think that we just had a great opportunity there to continue moving that forward. But this coming Friday night, we're just going to get right back on and keep going. We still have 2 games left in the regular season.
Yep.
Then we got to get ourselves prepared for week 7.
You're going to take on Middletown this coming week. They have yet to win a game on the season. They're 0-3 overall, 0-2 in the league here. Are you expecting a strong bounce back performance from your team and again against a team in Middletown who on paper you should be able to take care of?
Yeah, our football team wasn't happy about the results from Friday night, and I think they're going to be mentally prepared. I think they're going to physically be prepared. I think Coach Daniels, our medical training staff, will have our kids ready from a health perspective as far as whether they're banged up or necked up or what have you. And again, I keep going back to what we've talked about since day one. Mm-hmm. Taking that Saturday off is so big for our kids, and bringing them in on Sundays and getting them mentally kind of prepared and going through a system has been really beneficial for our football team. Mm-hmm. And so I expect us to come in here Friday night and be well prepared and well versed to take on the Middies of Middletown. Hats off to Middletown because they, their record may not reflect where they are as a program. Obviously, mm-hmm. they had some hurdles they had to overcome with this pandemic, and we're just thankful that they're back out on the playing field.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be anybody just to come in here and think that we need to take them lightly. I know that for a fact. I know that their staff is working just as hard as any other staff, and their kids are just they're going to be prepared. So we're gonna be ready for them, and it's going to be a great game Friday night.
Yeah, happy to see Middletown back on the field, given all the uncertainty at the beginning of the year. Would they even have a season? But they're back, and you'll get them this coming Friday. A busy week ahead, as we said. Volleyball in action this coming Tuesday. It'll be broadcast on watchhssports.tv. We're really looking forward to that. And also getting back here next week once again to talk about how this week went at Princeton High School. Joe, appreciate the time.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jason. It's been a great week. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow night, and looking forward to a great week in Viking athletics.
We're looking forward to covering it all here on VikeNation.org. You've been watching This Week in Princeton Viking Sports here with Athletic Director Joe Roberts on ESP Media, powered by Sidearm Sports.